hydro hookup, the electricity hookup, gas hookup, lawyer fees. Like they can control who they sell the units to, for how much, and then they're going to go sell it to someone else. So basically, you know what I mean? Hey guys, what's up? It's your man Pete. I just thought I would do a short little video here talking about why I absolutely hate the pre-construction condo buying process right now. And it's not just happening in Toronto, it's happening all around the GTA as well too. Like it's literally everywhere. And how it works these days is, you hear about a new project that's about to launch, and then, you head to the builder's website, or you sign up for a few email newsletters, or people who are going to contact you with pre-construction units potentially. So then you sign up for it, and then, when launch day comes, some sort of webinar happen, hyping up the project, telling you that it's the best and most affordable condo in the neighborhood, or it's the most exciting project ever, all the usual kind of stuff. And then on launch day, what they do is, if you can get the email, is that you sign up for it, you fill out something called a worksheet because you've looked at all the floor plans, you've looked at the pricing, you think, okay, all right, it's a pretty good project, I can go for this one. You don't really know what you're getting into as you're sitting on your hands waiting for units or for someone to contact you about the project. And then when they do contact you, it sounds like there might be something there. You might be able to access and buy units and spend tens of thousands of dollars. But then no, that's not really the case, right? So what they're really doing is they're checking all the different leads. They're trying to find out who is the hottest lead and buyer here, who has the most qualified buyers. So basically, if you're mainland Chinese, then you're probably some of the most qualified buyers, if not at the top of the list. But then what happens is when they do actually contact you, you've got literally like 2 or 3 minutes to make a decision on if you will take this one unit or not. So they come to you with one unit and you're like, this is not even what I asked for. It's like getting the wrong item at a restaurant, totally different from what you actually ordered. So then you're like, okay, you punch in some numbers in the calculator and you're like, okay, yeah, I think this kind of works. It's not ideal. It's not perfect, but I think my client will be able to handle this, no problem. And then after you tell the sales rep that you want this unit, you suddenly get ghosted. You don't hear from them again. And so this is the frustration of buying pre-construction condos right now. This is sort of one of the reasons why I don't do a lot of pre-construction anymore. I started out doing pre-construction earlier in my career. It's just too frustrating of a process to deal with. I'd rather take care of my clients, make sure they understand what they're buying, put them at ease, make them feel comfortable, instead of like just, throwing something in front of them and saying, this is all I got. And so for me, that's why I really prefer the resale and the assignment market right now. Even though it is competitive, it's not tightly controlled like the pre-construction units that are being held by the developer. So again, if you're looking for great customer service or great client service, then pre-construction ain't it. So then if by miracle you actually do get your name on this purchase agreement, the really long document, if you've made it that far, you've got the unit. It wouldn't fill out all that paperwork for nothing. And then of course you have to provide your ID and you have to write a check. And these cases, they're asking for bank drafts. And this is the process, mind you, for people who already have money, they're qualified, they're ready to go, they're ready to buy. And you still can't even get units. It's just getting really ridiculous, guys. And Toronto real estate, boys and girls, ain't no easy game. When I first started buying and investing in pre-construction condos in the mid-2000s, it was a whole different experience. They had showrooms, they had salespeople, they walked you around, they really tried to sell you and make you feel comfortable in the process in buying a pre-construction condo. Like they were really attentive, like they would really try to answer your questions. Certainly the condos did not sell as quickly as they do today. Back then it would take months, if not a year or even 2 years for bigger projects and bigger phases to sell out. Today it's getting sold out in under a month. So now fast forward to 2021 and it's a completely different ballgame. It's not even in the same league, where you literally have people and money chasing the limited amount of properties out there. And it's like they put it in front of you and it's like, do you want it or not? You don't want it? Okay, it's gonna go to someone else. But the worst part is when you actually do say you want it and then they just disappear and they don't get back to you. Yet even still, they want you to plop down $100K in cash to secure this pre-construction unit. That's what they want you to do. That's not what I want you to do. And let's not even start getting into prices and terms of the agreement yet. But even worse than that, and I don't blame them, is developers holding back units and selling it to their so-called friends and family. Or they're also holding on to the best units available in the building, hoping to sell it later or use it for their own little cushy bachelor pads. But hey, you know what? I'm not a developer. I can't blame them. I would probably do the same thing. But lately it's just sort of gotten to a whole nother level that I don't really like anymore. And, I never really was doing a lot of pre-construction to begin with, but now it just sort of confirms my decision. But, we'll continue to talk about it on the channel. But yeah, Let's do resale together, folks. A long time ago, you could ask for things like capped levies, free assignment, and then of course the standard, allowing you to rent out the unit during occupancy. But these days you can't really do that anymore. Like, you need the developer's permission, or you have to work with a brokerage that they're associated with, or they just won't even allow it, period, because technically you don't own the unit yet. It's understandable. It doesn't mean I like it. I get it. You know what I mean? Developers are people that are territorial by nature, okay? They crave power, money. That's why they're developers. Sort of once in a generation opportunity where you could actually control the amount of supply and control who you sell it to, where prices and demand are as high as they've ever been and supply is probably as low as it's ever been. They want to control the entire process and also even control the narrative around their project. It's understandable. I get it from the builder's perspective, but my channel is really here to serve you, which is the individual home buyer and home seller, the type that doesn't have the money to buy 10 condo units in a building at the same time. And then of course, we're also here to serve you first timers who are just getting into the game for the first time ever. So what I will say for you as a buyer, if you're sort of on the edge and you can probably close on a resale condo, then I would say do that instead, because it's just not really worth it anymore. Like, the prices are pretty high, not to say that they won't go higher, but it's just the fact that you don't get to choose anymore. Like, you just have to take what's offered to you. Like, beggars can't be choosers. But sort of what irks me the most is that you probably have to accept everything in the terms of agreement. And if you don't, then that purchase agreement or contract is going to be pulled out from you as quickly as you can say condo. You can't question anything in the purchase agreement. And if you do, then you're probably also going to get blacklisted from that project, or maybe even with that developer in the future, because of course we live in the data society. Granted, there still is the 10-day cooling off period, but to be honest, the builder wants to sell to people who don't or won't exercise that option. There's more than enough buyers on their mailing list. And so I ask you this question: is it still a good time to be buying pre-construction condos? Some would say yes, some would say no. I think we're pretty much on the precipice, on the edge of saying it's not worth it anymore. Where resale and assignments are selling for $200 to $300 per square foot less than the new stuff. And so like when you're going into resale, now you can, physically see the property. You can touch it. You can see how high the ceilings are. You can see what the view really is like. But with the pre-construction stuff, there's always some level of risk. And nowadays you're paying a premium for that risk. So is there still value to be had? Yeah, it's good because you don't have to manage the property. All you gotta do is just give some checks and then wait for the developer to finish it. But I still say, for some of you who are on the fence and you want to decide between the two, clearly there's a very long time difference, right? So if you're much younger and you're getting in the game earlier, yeah, you could probably do pre-construction while you're still living at home with your parents. But if you're really ready to move out within like a year or 2 years, then you probably want to go with resale. It just offers much better value, and the risks are sort of more well aware. And what people should also know is that with pre-construction, in those contracts, there's places where you say you have to pay for all these other miscellaneous fees, lawyer fees, you have to pay for like gas and electricity hookup. So a lot of the costs that are borne to the developer get passed on to sellers. So that's really how it works in the pre-construction condo game. So when you close it, not only are you paying more for the property, but you also have to pay for all those additional other fees to get a brand new, smaller, but sparkling condo unit. And then of course, if you can time it right in the resale market, you might even be able to negotiate a little bit off just to sweeten that deal a little bit. But to be honest, these days, most of the time it's still a bidding war. So you have to get over and get through that process, get over the hump. And the great thing about buying resale is that in the future, you're gonna know exactly what those pre-construction units are gonna sell for in the future, because investors and buyers are not gonna sell for less than they paid for it. That's not happening. And so when you're buying resale, you will know roughly what your property value is going to be. A little bit more predictable. I always like predictable in real estate, especially when it comes to helping you make money. So there you have it, just my take on how the pre-construction market has evolved over the last 10 or 15 years while I've been involved in real estate. But yeah, thank you all for following the show and for watching my channel. If you need real solid in-person professional advice, then give us a call, contact us here, and let's see if we can help you out in 2021 or even early in 2022. Because the waters are definitely getting a lot choppier here in Toronto. A little bit harder to see what's going to happen in the future. But here at Selling Toronto, we can help you guys navigate these tricky scenarios to help you benefit, as you can tell from this video here. So don't be afraid to reach out, and we'll help you guide you through this process with less risks, plenty of upside, and greater peace of mind. You need some calm right now a little bit in the stressed out real estate market. Just how difficult it is to secure a terribly overpriced condo unit that's a lot smaller than the units before them. So it's really no wonder why real estate and homes and properties have been going up so much over the years, how much Toronto properties have gone up cumulatively, of course, here in Canada's most populous and vibrant city. But yeah, thank you all for watching. I really appreciate you all. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, throw us up a like, give us a comment, leave us a question. But again, if you're ready to make a move in the next couple of months, then don't be shy. Give us a shout here. Contact is in the description box below. And I just want to say thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. Who don't, who won't, who don't or won't. Contact is in this. Contact is in the cumulatively. And the great thing with the new stuff is that they have a certain price per square foot, so you know this condo is going to be worth at least